Organize. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to our weekly Korea Issues webinar. This episode, organized by Universal Peace Federation's International Media Association for Peace. Regular participants of this webcast are accustomed to hearing discussions of Korea Peninsula, North-South issues, and Northeast Asia geopolitics. Today will be something different, something very enjoyable. We're going to gather some impressions of Korean popular culture. Unless you've been living on another planet, you've at least heard of K-pop and perhaps the Korean dramas. Korean boy groups and girl groups like BTS and Blackpink are filling up stadiums in the US and Europe where they perform. A couple of years ago, the Korean movie Parasite won the Oscar for Best Picture at the Academy Awards in Hollywood, making it the first non-English language film to ever win Best Picture. All of this is what the Koreans call hallyu. The word translates as Korean wave, and it refers to the amazing popularity of Korean culture and entertainment that has spread worldwide. It really is a wave, a tsunami even. We've assembled a group of friends, young adults in their 20s who are either Korean or who have lived in Korea for school or work long enough to have learned to speak Korean fluently and appreciate the culture. And we've also pulled together a few clips of their choices in movies and serialized dramas, in music videos, and also some webtoons. So we're going to be looking at some of those and then talking about them. Scholars have written books about the cultural history of K-pop and studied it deeply, but that's not us today. None of us here are experts. We're just people. Our guests are people who live in Korea and who love Korea for what it is. So let's meet them. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. I'm just going to start, and I'm going to go around based on how you are on my screen. We'll start with Sandy. Say a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, and where you are, and just a minute of information.
Hello. So my name is Sandy Kim. I am 23 years old, and currently I'm a university student in Hanggang University, which is in Korea. And yes, I've been living in Korea my whole life, but went to an international school, which is why I can speak in English, but that's about it from me.
Okay, thank you. Hannah, you're next on my little rotation. Hannah Huntington.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. So my name is Hannah Huntington. I am also 23 years old. I'm 24 in Korean age, but 23. And then I was born in Korea, raised up in Korea until I graduated my high school. And then I came to the US for my college. So yeah, and I especially studied music business. So I might talk a lot about music today. So bear with me. And then and then right now I'm still looking for jobs, hopefully maybe in America, maybe in Korea, maybe also in Japan. I'm pretty much interested in K-pop industry, so I'm looking for anywhere that, works with K-pop or yes.
Are you fluent in Japanese?
I can speak a little bit of Japanese, yes.
Now you mentioned something that needs to be explained. 24 in Korean age and 23 in regular Earth age.
Yeah.
Can you explain this custom?
Of course. All of my friends always ask me about it, so I'm kind of an expert in. Let's see. So in Korea, because we spent about 10 months in our mother's womb, you are 1 year old immediately after you are born. So that makes one, and that's difference. And also in other countries, birthday is when you kind of gain your age. But in Korea, January 1st and New Year is when you get your age. So everyone New Year, you get one more year, if that makes sense.
Okay, so
So-
if you're born in November, then you're born at age 1 year. So then when at New Year's you turn 2,
Yes, immediately.
even though you've only been alive breathing air
Yes,
for
exactly.
a couple months.
Right.
Okay. Most people try to make themselves younger, but somehow this Korean custom took hold. Thank you, Hannah. Jason, what's going on with you?
Hello, it's great to see everyone. My name is Jason Sakwa. I'm currently staying in Korea and studying computer science at Dongguk University. I moved, I was born in America, but then around 10 years ago moved to Korea. So about half of my life has been spent in America, the other half in Korea so far. I'm not very well versed in Hallyu culture, to be honest. But I hope I'm happy to share whatever insight or perspective I can muster. And so wonderful to be here and hear what everyone else has to say.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jason. Those of you that have been in Korea for about how long does it take to become totally comfortable in the Korean language? Because you didn't speak Korean when you came, Jason, did you?
No, not. I just knew the alphabet from my father.
So you are half Asian or all Asian?
Yes, my father is Japanese,
Uh-huh.
so yes, I'm half Asian.
Uh-huh.
Asian, yes.
See. And about how long does it take to get the language down, where you can just take a taxi, go out and go shopping and walk around and talk to people?
Okay, so I think personally, from experience, it depends almost entirely on how often you use Korean. So, for example, my mother, she didn't really spend too much time speaking Korean. So, even though we've lived together for the past 10 years, she still, sometimes has trouble speaking Korean. But in the case of my brothers, they spend more of their life in Korea relatively than I have, and they are like almost completely fluent. Like they make like tons of
Wow.
friends and stuff.
So your mother is Western?
Oh yes, my mother is Western. Yes,
I see. Your father's Japanese. Okay.
yes.
All right. Hansun, thank you very much. Hansun and Kumu, welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name's Hansun. As you can tell, I think I'm the only one that's not American here. But I was born in Korea. I lived here until I was 7. So I went to Korean elementary school and then moved to England and came back for university. So I've been here for about 6 years and I'm in my last semester at Summer University, majoring in media communications and visual design. So Hallyu culture was basically just how I kept my connection to Korea whilst I was, back in England. Yeah,
So
thank you.
in Korea, do they call it Hallyu culture? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if they're speaking about it as a whole, then they will refer to it as Hallyu. Yeah.
So Hansun, your citizenship, your passport is Korean, right?
No, because
it'd be British.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because both of my parents are foreign. If one parent was Korean, then I would be able to have, But because both of my parents are foreigners, I'm British.
Okay. Thank you. Esther, welcome. Tell us a little about yourself. I think you're the youngest one here.
Yes, my name is Esther and I'm 17 years old. To be honest, I've never been in America before. I lived my entire life in Korea. I go to high school in a military base. That's how I learned English, and that's pretty it.
Which military base? I've been to some of them in Korea.
Oh, I'm in Humphreys.
At Humphreys.
Yes.
So your father or mother's in the army?
My mother is in the army, yes.
I see. And you're part Korean or?
I'm full Korean.
Full Korean. You are full
Yes.
Korean. Okay. That's right. There's a lot of Korean citizens at Humphreys. I love Humphreys. It's a brand new Army base. It's huge. It's got about 45,000 people. It's like a town. It's like a little city. And it still has that new Army base smell. You know, it's fresh. And they were building a KFC when I went through there last time. So it's nice. A golf course. Tony Lamborghini. Welcome. Your name is Italian, but you are Korean, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little yourself.
Yeah, so basically my parents are both Korean, and I've lived in Korea for like 11 years, and before I was living in Australia. And yeah, I'm not really familiar with the dramas, but I like to watch a lot of movies. So yeah, and listening to the music that related to K-pop. Yeah, so it will be really exciting. Getting exciting to talk about this kind of culture right now. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I guess, am I summing it up correctly if I say that some of you have spent more time in the culture than others, that is the entertainment culture, and some of you, like Jason, has his nose in the books and is trying to keep those straight A's, and so doesn't get out to the movies very much. So you need to take Jason out a little more often to the movies. Choose your movies wisely, of course. Let's show a little bit. Sunhwa, we're going to start. Here's how we're going to break this up. We're going to look at movies and drama, and then we're going to look at K-pop music. And we'll look at movies and drama and then talk about them. Some of the things. Then we're going to look at movies and drama. Movies and drama. Then we're going to look at K-pop after that, and then we're going to look at something called webtoons, which are probably more popular in Korea than they are in the West, and we'll talk about those a little bit. I know a little bit about them, and we'll talk about those, and that will sum up the hour. I know you all are busy. Many of you are studying for exams, so I don't want to keep you too late. And even though it's 9 o'clock at night in Korea, that's prime study hour for Korean students. So we'll let you get back to the coffee pot and your books here shortly. But let's go ahead and Sunhwa, roll the clips we have.
난 지금 북한에 와 있다.
어디 다친 데는 없어?
이렇게 모르는 사람이 보는 앞에서 울고 있어야 되냐고.
곧 좋아질 거요. 모든 게.
김다미를 우리 멤버로 영입하는데 동의합니까잉? 우리 중에 한 명 건드리는 건 우리 전체를 건드리는 거야.
보고 싶다, 써니. 우리 다시 만날 수 있을까?
네가 내 대신 얘 과외 선생님 좀 해줘라, 영어.
대학생인 척하라는 거야?
구라를 좀 치지 뭐.
이 아들이 원래 참 잘 속아.
근데 지금 진짜로 이상한 게 뭔 것 같아.
장례 준비를 하거라.
어떻게 사람을 먹어!
야, 정신 안 차릴래? 우리가 지금 닭 장사하는 거야?
지금까지 이런 맛은 없었다. 이것은 갈비인가 통닭인가.
아저씨,
저기 앞 건물에서도 가끔 시키고 그래요?
자, 아까물만 배달시키다 했어.
저희가 입성했습니다.
너 왜 맛있어?
대박!
왜 자꾸 장사가 잘 되는데?
자리에 계신 여러분들은 모두 감당할 수 없는 빚을 지고 삶의 벼랑 끝에 서 계신 분들입니다. 게임에 참가를 원하지 않는 분은 지금 말씀해 주시길 바랍니다.
무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다입니다.
그 옛날에 어릴 때 하던 거 말이야?
사람을 그렇게 죽여놓고
6개의 게임을 모두 이긴 분들께는 저에게 상금이 지급됩니다.
기러기 토마토 스위스 인도인 별똥별 우영우 역삼요?
되게 재밌어요.
이 아가씨가 변호사예요?
우영 정체가 뭡니까? 바보인 척하면서 놀리는 거 아니야?
우영우 변호사, 건방지게 누가 누굴 가르치려고 드는 거야 지금?
야 변호사는 그것만 잘하면 돼. 있습니다! 있습니다! 글쎄 눈에
이런 인재를 한 바다가 안 데려오면 누가 데려옵니까?
나는 변호사님이랑 같은 편 하고 싶어요. 변호사님 같은 변호사가 내 편을 들어주면 좋겠어요.
있습니다!
Okay. Anybody? Impressions?
Well, I feel like we would have to talk about each movie or drama. Like, that was a lot. Can you maybe pick one for us?
That was a lot. Okay, let's start with how many of you saw Parasite? What's Parasite? Okay. And quasi Sandy. So what did you think of Parasite?
I think the contrast in the Parasite was very well depicted, especially between the poor and the rich, like the two different worlds. Like we keep seeing this contrast between those two. So it was like, I think that was really a good point of the movie.
Did it resonate with you? I mean, was it a movie that you could relate to?
I think I'm not really sure if it resonated with me a lot. Because like to me it also showed the extremes of both ends as well. So I don't know if it really resonated with me, but maybe to some
I don't mean
degree.
you necessarily liked it, but you could understand the situation.
Yeah, like I can kind of see like maybe the social problem, like society wise, like the problem between the rich and the poor. There's always someone struggling, like the family, and there's always someone who's really rich. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, so I do think that Parasite, and also I watched the first few episodes of Squid Game today, because and I think this film and drama really showcase like what the extremes of perhaps like capitalist society, like in a society where there's like money and stuff, like what that can really bring out in people, maybe. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it resonates with audiences, but that's just my guess. So,
have any of you read anything about Squid Games? Read anything about why it was so popular in Korea? It's a very bloody movie.
For me, I didn't read, but I watched a video of someone who explained how the Westerners reacted to Squid Game and of course Parasite. And all those journals were pretty, like famous journals like The Guardians or something like that. And then there were many things, but I think because if you think about Parasite and Squid Game, they're both very much like oriented in Korean culture. If you see the Parasite and Squid Game, in Squid Game, they use all the Korean, traditional plays, and it's not really for Westerners in a sense. But how the person explained it was, even though it was very Korean, it was also very well resonated with everyone because it was centered on the issue that everyone could kind of understand. So although it was very bloody, and I think that was why it was famous in Western, and this is my own opinion. In Korea, we didn't really have like the Hollywood scale movies for a long time. But right now, because Netflix is kind of, looking into Korea and investing on them, and they were now started to able to have a very, high quality and very large scale movies and dramas like Squid Game. And I think that was the first reaction from the Korean people. Oh, see, now we can make these kind of movies. Before we weren't able to do it because we didn't have enough investment, and maybe not a lot of executives in the film industry didn't like the idea of it, but now people can experience the more creative stuff with a lot more money. So I think that was the Koreans' reaction.
Yeah. Hansun, Esther, and Tony, did either of you see Parasite or Squid Games?
Yes. Oh.
Okay, Esther, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about it, about your reaction. It's good that we're talking about those two together because there's similarities in some ways.
I think I also saw the video, but the other people already mentioned my thoughts. So I'll talk about how my friends, my peers reacted, because in my school, more than half of our students are from America, so they're not really Korean, and apparently most of them watched Squid Game, and whenever I came to school, they were talking about it, and the 달고나 snack, they brought them to school because it was like a really famous thing like a year ago, and it was really popular.
And Hansen?
Yeah, actually, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when Squid Game came out, because I was waiting for it, actually. I was quite looking forward to it when I saw the trailer. And I think it was during Chuseok in Korea when it came out. So it was like an extra long holiday. So I basically just binge watched the whole thing, which I think brings along what Hannah had mentioned about Netflix culture, and like binge watching is now a huge thing. And I think because Korean dramas have so much more money put in them, they can make it to this such high scale that it really makes you want to keep watching. And I think the university students' reaction was, I would say, very similar to what Esther mentioned. Everyone was talking about it, but from what I saw, it didn't seem like as big of a trend, should I say, as compared to the West. Because in the West, you had like these big YouTubers like recreating the entire playground. And in Korea, I think they just had like some people dressed up in the stations, and then they had like a photo zone, and that was pretty much it. And so I think it was
they were wearing Squid Game costumes in the subway.
The Squid Game costumes, and I guess Netflix had rented a part of one of the stations, and so people could come and take photos of it. And the dalgona snack as well. I think kind of similar to the beginning of COVID, everyone was making the dalgona coffee. So I think like a similar trend had come along. And it was quite interesting because usually the people making the dalgona are usually like the elders. They're sat on the street corner, they're making it. And you don't see that a lot these days. Like you have the grandmothers and grandfathers selling like sweet potato and whatnot, but you don't see the dalgona a lot. And I remember just starting to see a lot more because more tourists, I guess, started coming and said, oh, I want to try like the authentic Korean one. So I think culturally seeing that, it was very interesting to see how in Korea they were really excited and then they kind of got over it after a while. But I think in like America especially, it lasted for a really long time. So that was pretty interesting, I think, to see the contrast between the two countries.
When you said you were waiting for it to come out, so you had some advance notice. Also, you are a communication major, so you're interested in how things resonate with people.
Yeah.
Did you find it off-putting? I mean, I almost stopped. I stopped watching after the first episode. It was so gory, and then I read about how popular it is in Korea, so I thought I got to push through this, and then I watched it all.
Yeah, I have quite a strong stomach for that kind of thing. So I think I cried more than I was like put off. Like I'm very emotional, so there are many parts of, oh sorry Jason, I know you just started watching. But there were some parts that were just very emotional. I guess that brings in the part of how important family is as well in Korean culture, and I think more so than in Western culture. Like example, in the West, if your parents get old, it's very easy to just say, okay, I'm gonna find a place to put you. But in Korea, it's like, okay, I have to look after mum or dad or this family member, and if they don't have the money, then they're like, I need to find a way, any way possible. And I think it brings in human ethics as well, like how far are you really willing to go to do what you need to do. So I thought it was very interesting and I couldn't stop watching.
Right. Tony, say just a couple words and then I want to get on to some other things. This is amazing conversation. Tony, what about Squid Games and Parasite?
I've watched both of the films and drama as well as they came out, and I also like the movie, but I didn't like the Squid Game because for me it was too boring, and as you mentioned, it was too brutal, and there was a lot of things that exaggerated the things too much, I think. Yeah. So, but I think the Squid Game was really popular over in Korea as well, because that was the first film that might be supported by Netflix. Like, although there was a movie called Okja, which was filmed by director Bong, same as Parasite. But the Squid Game was the first drama that Netflix invested with a huge huge money. So after then, the Netflix started to invest a lot of Korean dramas and film after the Squid Game was really skyrocketing. So yeah.
Yeah. I was worried about trying to find some of these clips that I was looking for, but Netflix had everything except one of the webtoons. They had everything I was looking for. Okay, just quickly, Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Did any of you see that? What did you think? Go ahead, Hannah. And then Hansun.
Yes. I didn't finish it yet. I will. But so far, I really liked it. It's a very kind of a peaceful drama in a sense. It doesn't have a villain. It does have a bad character that kind of disrupts the main character. But still, it's a very idealistic setting for a person with Down syndrome. And although we can't say it's a real situation, but I think it really showed how we can help Down syndrome person if we are,
She wasn't actually, she's autistic. She wasn't down.
Yes, autistic. I'm sorry.
The autism spectrum person.
Yes, right.
And yeah, and she was adorable.
Bye.
Yes.
Absolutely adorable, and memorized entire volumes of legal books, and so she could just would kill at the trials. Hansun, get a comment from you, and then I'm going to have to move on to the music part. Hansun, say something about Attorney Wu.
Yeah, so I watched it when as it was coming out, and I thought that it's a really big move in the Korean culture because there isn't a lot of focus on people who are either on the autism spectrum or in general have a disability. So I thought it was very interesting. I think in the West, we're very used to seeing disabilities portrayed. So the reaction was actually because the actress herself is not on the spectrum. So it was a bit controversial, I believe, in the West. But I think Korea, that was a very big growth move on Korea's part. And I thought it was pretty amazing. And like Hannah said, it is a very calm one to watch when you're not really wanting to guess, who did what.
Yeah, in the West, most people gave her credit for having done well to play an autistic person. She turned the part down for an entire year because she was worried about, how well she could play an autistic person. She didn't want to do him injustice, but she got pretty good high marks. There's so much to say about this, and I haven't heard from Sandy, but maybe we'll get to it in the music part. I want to go to the music section, because when we think of K-pop, we think of music. So, Sunhwa, could you roll that, please?
Why you leave me alone, baby? I'm still loving you. 넌 지금 나를 두고 떠나가지 마. 행복하길 바랄게. You're my everything, my everything, my everything. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Whoa, yeah. Whoa, whoa. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, yeah. 준비하시고 쏘세요. We can break it, baby. Rock it, twist it, lock it, baby. All I know is you can chain me, 'cause I'm gonna break out, gonna break out, go. Bombaya. Yeah, bombaya. Ice cream, chillin', ice cream, chillin'. Ice cream, chillin', ice cream, chillin'.
I have Blackpink here. Their U.S. morning TV debut. Their songs have billions with a B of views online, and their fans are loyal enough to spend all night long in the cold waiting for a chance just to see them.
작은 소란을 또 일으켜. This is gonna be
All right. Oh, so who's your favorite K-pop group? Anybody? Sandy, who's your favorite K-pop group?
My favorite K-pop group. Well, I don't really pay attention to K-pop as much, but the one that caught my attention the most was Psy with the That song. Because it's very catchy and rhythmic. It's very upbeat. And also like I think K-pop as well, just their choreography, their dances is very like, I don't know, it's like you feel like you can try and like you want to dance with them, kind of. It has that kind of vibe. So yeah, that's the song that got me.
Psy was most Americans' introduction to K-pop, a Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Hannah, what did you like?
Well, my favorite artist is BTS, but you know, I'm a music business major. I listen to pretty much all the K-pop artists and other Korean music genre as well. Yeah. So I was singing along. Yeah.
Some of the K-pop are more sensual and some are more into the music, I think. I don't know if that's a way to divide them, but I guess they all are, because you got handsome young men and beautiful young women and they're dancing. So I guess the sensuality part is automatically there, but some are more, I thought, what was that one that just had, was it Le Seraphim? No, it was
Black Skirts?
Black Skirts, yeah. It was just kind of, you didn't actually see the band, you just saw that girl kind of floating around.
Yes, he's more on the indie side. So, you know, even in America, you have a pop side where everyone focus on their music video production. They have a lot of dancers, a lot of colors. It's like in K-pop, same. But, you know, you have indie music in America as well, singer-songwriting, country music, blues, jazz, whatever. And we also have that in Korea too.
And some underground stuff.
Of course, of course.
Jason, how about you?
So I don't really listen to music too much, unfortunately, but I do think that I'm kind of drawn to BTS, possibly because of their choreography, but also the music is, as Sandy kind of put it, like really catchy. Like I heard my mother once like humming Dynamite, I believe, while I was doing the dishes, and so yeah, I guess maybe through exposure, perhaps I've grown like slightly attached to them.
If the moms and dads are into it, then it's getting some traction. Hansun.
Yeah, same for groups. I listen to a lot of more indie groups and some K-hip hop, but for groups, I've been supporting BTS for a very, very long time. It feels a bit different now, honestly, to say like, oh, I'm a BTS fan, because everyone's a BTS fan. But yeah, but BTS, I have a very strong attachment to their music. Yeah.
Yeah, Esther?
Well, I've listened to most of them before because like it's a trending on Instagram and it shows up on Reels. And I've been supporting Blackpink for a while, and I think they're like really popular all over the world because they're all from like different locations of the world, so they have more world fans compared to other groups. And Black Skirts, I also listened to their song because like recently Vintage, like the theme Vintage, has been coming back since like from the early 2000s, and I think that's also why they're like rising right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I selected Black Skirts specifically because you had mentioned it as one of the in your list, and I couldn't find much of the group, so they are more indie, more underground, a little less accessible. But I'm glad I found at least one little clip. I wanted to honor your taste, and I wish I could have done more of it. Tony, you want to unmute, and what did you like? You're a fan of K-pop, right?
Yeah, I usually listen wide range of the K-pop and a lot of pop songs as well. I don't really have a specific group that I like, but yeah, I just listen whatever just stuck in my ears, and yeah, just make
You listen to all of them.
beat. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just adding about more information about the black skirt.
So you like black skirts too?
Oh no, I just know one song called Hollywood, and I like that. Yeah. It's really comfortable and really slow bass. But
yeah.
I like the songs. I only know that songs, but yeah, I like that. And like nowadays there's a lot of like K-pop groups coming out, so I don't know all of them, but I'm just trying to like listen to the music that just pops out on top of the like YouTube feed or like Facebook feed, yeah, or on the chart of the melons, or yeah.
For Americans, BTS and Blackpink, those are Korea's Beatles. They're the ones that go out over the world. And we know
I think that's because based on their songs are based on the hip hop. Yeah, so BTS.
What is a flower boy?
Yeah.
What is a flower? You're laughing. Well, okay, Hansun, you laughed first. What's a flower boy?
I haven't heard that term in a long time, so it just someone can correct me, I guess, but it's like a pretty boy, right? Basically. Yeah. But because flowers are very beautiful, I suppose. So, yeah.
Even Jason knew that one.
In Korean, it's a word called 꽃미남. 꽃미남. I think like if you translate the Chinese characters, it's maybe flower, beautiful man, or possibly. It could be wrong on that, but yeah, it's I think it's a word used to refer to a pretty boy. Pretty boy. Yes, flower.
Now I want to get into webtoons. These are less known in America, but Sandy told me you've got to have webtoons because they're a part of Korean culture, and a part of Korean young people. So somebody explain to me what's a webtoon. So, Sandy?
Webtoon? Webtoon, anyone can correct me as well if I'm wrong, but webtoon as I know it is, in Korea, we call comics manhwa. And before, when it was paper, we use books, right? Like comic books,
like manga in Japan.
Yeah, like manga in Japan. It's like the same thing. But once the social network came in and smartphone came in, Korea actually developed a way for comics to be in a platform kind of thing base. And so webtoons are mainly scrolling up by the phone like this. You scroll up while you watch. So it's a very different type of, it's like a new form of how manhwa, that was comics, how comics that was like flipped in a book form, now into a social media form, into the smartphone, and then use specifically the scrolling up form to view it. And we call that webtoon.
And some of them have been put to music and sound effects, and one they made a film out of, Yumi's Cells, which is a story told from the perspective of this girl Yumi, particularly from the perspective of her brain cells, telling her what to do. And it's cute as heck. Go ahead and roll that clip, Sunhwa.
Cells. Yumi Cells is coming back for a second season following the end of the first one in October of 2021. The drama is based on Lee Dong-gun's webtoon of the same name, and it follows the life of Kim Yumi, who's played by Kim Go-eun, who's a normal office worker. The story is told from the point of view of her brain cells, who control her thoughts, actions, and feelings. After one of Yumi's relationship ends badly, her love cell falls into a coma, so the other cells try to wake up the unconscious cell by making Yumi pursue a relationship with a straightforward game developer named Gu-woong, who's played by An Bo-hyun. The drama follows Yumi as she grows and transforms, with her cells working their hardest in order to wake up the love cell with the help of Gu-woo.
가만히 누워 있길 딱 3시간째
그럼 그에게 갑자기 이상한 일이 생깁니다. 눈앞에 퀘스트가 뜨고 새 창이 뜨는 겁니다. 요리사의 길이라는 미션이 시작되고요. 요리사의 눈이라는 스킬 사용하면 엄청난 요리 실력. 네, 주인공 강성재는 스타워즈처럼 홀로그램으로 레시피를 볼 수 있게 되고, 썩은 재료와 좋은 재료를 구분하는 능력, 최적의 조리 시간을 보게 되는 등 엄청난 요리 스킬을 갖게 됩니다.
아, 이거 좀 부러운 스킬인데요.
취사병이면 군대를 다시 가야 하는데도요.
이 뭔 개소리야!
게임처럼 미션을 해결할 때마다 점점 레벨업이 되고요. 기존 취사병 선임보다 더 맛있는 요리를 할 수 있게 됩니다.
보통 선임이 시킨 거 말고 다른 거라면 좀 털리기 마련인데 웹툰은 좀 다르네요. 착해.
네, 강성재 때문에 식사 시간 분위기가 변하죠.
네, 다들 식사 시간을 좀 기대하게 되고요. 남은 짬을 먹는 돼지들조차 아주 환장하고 달겨듭니다.
돼지들 사이에 짬 맛집이죠. 특히 부대원들이 음식 맛을 보고 놀라는 장면들이 인상.
So, was that Esther who liked? Yeah, Esther. What is Kitchen Soldier about? Is that a cooking show?
It's about this person who goes into Korean military and his life as a cooker inside the military life.
He's an army chef or cook.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And several of you liked Romance 101. That's because you're young, and I assume, and I'm an old guy, but I'm still very romantic too. But that one is it's usually just a still photograph, and they play a song. So I guess it's the photograph or the drawing, but the song is very important. Is that correct?
I think that was just for the song, like single album. What do you call? Like a
record,
cover, album cover. Yes, so it was not the webtoon itself. It's just a song that's based on the webtoon from the clip. Yes.
On Netflix, I didn't find any animated Romance 101. So do they also animate it?
As far as I know, no. It's only.
Okay, Sandy says no. You're all shaking your heads. Okay. The boxer, Tony. That was more like one that you scroll up on your cell phone, but there was also an animated version. Somebody had animated and put in sound effects like that.
Yeah, I just I didn't watch the animated one, but I just watched the webtoon, but not from the beginning to the end, just some part of it. And yeah.
Why are webtoons popular?
Why webtoon is popular?
Yeah, why are webtoons popular among Korean young people?
I think that's because like that fits the Korean like what? Koreans the heart. Like Koreans like I don't know how to say in English, but
Can I jump in?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think webtoons are popular because of this. The access is very easy. Actually, Naver has like this whole platform just full of webtoons available for anyone to see, basically, and it's very accessible because like as a student, if you're commuting from home to school, you have time on the train or the bus, like you can just pop your phone up and then just pop a webtoon up and then you can just like scroll through just like looking at it. So I think it maybe because it's very easy, accessible, and free. I think that's why it's very popular among young people in Korea.
You can
That
do
would
it
be my
while
guess.
you're just walking down the street instead of looking where you're going.
Well, I mean, that's dangerous, but if you want to, some people are skilled enough, I'm guessing.
We're coming. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, and people often spend their times in the subways or
Tony.
on the bus. So
Yeah.
while they're waiting or while they're on the train.
It's a convenience of it. Yeah. You take it with it wherever you go. So we're coming to the end of our time, and I know Jason has to get back to his studies. And Jason, I'm so glad we were able to drag you into the popular culture here for an hour and expose you to something so you can get back to computer science. And some point you're going to be making thousands of dollars a year, and everybody will want to be your friend. So yeah, you got a lot of thumbs up here, Jason. So let's close out. I'd like everybody to just say a final couple of words, and I'll go around the horn, and then that will conclude our show. Sandy, let's start with you. I'm just doing the rotation on the screen.
Okay, I'll be quick. There was one thing I wanted to mention during the drama part, waiting for Crash Landing on You. And that was, I think Korean drama also uses symbolization really well. And the part that they did, they chose Swiss as a country to meet again. I think that's really deep especially because Swiss is a neutral country. And right now with North and South Korea, the issue between these two countries is there's no peace. But the fact that the two main characters, who are both from South and the North, got to meet at a neutral country where there is no war and can love. I think that's very powerful, symbolic as well, especially in our time, in our reality. So I just wanted to share that before the end. Yes, thank you for having me.
We could spend an hour on Crash Landing on You, the most unrealistic love story in the world. A girl hang glides lands in North Korea, falls in love with a soldier, and somehow they go back and forth. But also that couple got married in real life, which all the Korean fans want. They want those couples to carry on in real life. They got married. He has a baby now. We hope it'll last, but how long do Hollywood marriages last? Anyway, we all hope for the best. Thank you, Sandy. Hannah, final thoughts?
Well, there were a lot of things that I wanted to talk in the music section, but we don't have any time, so I'll be short. As Sandy already mentioned, Korean dramas and movies have a lot of deep meanings, and I really like that. And I think K-pop also has the same thing. People really only think about the good production, like the colors and choreography and everything, but deep inside, there are a lot of deep meanings, especially for BTS, and I hope people can really, understand that part and really catch that part as well as their great music. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Hannah. Jason?
Okay, yes, so it's about time, so I'm gonna do this really quickly. It was wonderful to like see everyone and like hear about everyone's perspective on like Hallyu culture. I realized that there's a lot of stuff that I'm kind of missing out on, and when I have time, I'll definitely try out like especially like Yumi Cells. Like that looks like a really interesting take on like the whole like devil and angel on the shoulders thing. Like crashing on you, maybe I'll do that. But thank you so much for having me. I think I'm gonna have to go now, so just please have a fantastic day, wherever you, or night, wherever you may be.
Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will excuse you. You can go ahead and blank your screen.
Okay.
Get off to your new
Bye-bye.
meeting. Goodbye.
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
say bye to Jason. Okay. He's so punctual. He is so dependable. You know, if you're gonna run a country or something, you need people like Jason, who he's got to get off to that next meeting. And he doesn't want to miss it. Bye-bye, Faye. Thank you, Jason. So Hansun, that leaves you, my dear. What's going on? And we will go around the horn here.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, Hannah made a really good point. I really liked Hannah's point about music. I listen to a bit more music than I watch dramas, actually. Movies and music is what I focus on a lot. But yeah, I really hope that as people kind of discover K-pop and other genres of Korean artists, that they really are artists and they don't just kind of see like, oh yeah, they're really handsome and they're really pretty, that's why I like their music. That there's actually a lot more behind it, and that they can sometimes use a very beautiful meaning behind some of the music that they create, because you can really feel the soul and you can really feel like how much this artist wanted to put this music out. And same for other things, webtoons. I read books more than webtoons, so I would recommend, I didn't get to speak about it today, but I would recommend Almond. It looks like this. Actually, I had it with me, but I would recommend that. It's a really beautiful book. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you, Hansun. We looked at Almond and wanted to put it up, but book reviews take so much time. But it's a story about a boy who has a particular illness that prevents him from feeling emotions.
Yes.
So he can't feel any emotions. And so I want to, connect that somehow. How does that deal with, why is that so popular? Because it's a big popular book in Korea and probably in other languages too. And then we could spend a lot of time. That's one for the shrink. But thank you. I'm glad you mentioned the book, and we did look into it. It's just not enough time. Esther, final thoughts.
It was a great opportunity to share comments about Korean culture with other people who could speak English. I was able to hear different perspectives on each drama, music, and webtoons. So I had a great time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Esther. And Tony, you get the parting shot. You want to unmute?
Yeah. As all of you guys have some kind of interesting perspective and ideas. One thing, if we have more time to discuss, there might be more exciting, and we can share more ideas and some kind of perspective and different point of view. I think there's a lot of things to discuss as well. Even it's movie or dramas or webtoons or music as well. But yeah, it's really great to hear the opinions from others. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you, Tony. That brings us to the end. We're right at about an hour plus maybe a minute, so we held it. You all are delightful and great representatives of your generation. I think what I heard you saying is it would be nice to get back together and maybe take a smaller section instead of the whole wide spectrum of Korean entertainment and discuss it like movies or music. Maybe even pick a couple of movies, So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. If you want to just do, say, one genre, like, say, music, then which groups? Because you can also spread that out into 1,000 things. And if movies, which ones in particular? Communicate with Sandy or me. And she was our great organizer. Sandy, thank you so much for pulling these people together. You have great friends. You have wonderful friends. And Sunhwa Reiner, thank you for running tech for this. And God bless you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.